Hi, yes, here we are, another episode of Music Insiders by Free Music Archive. We are here, joined today by Siddhartha Courses. Hi, welcome to this episode.
Thanks so much for having me.
Where are you right now?
I'm in Portugal, in a small town, rural area about 2 hours south of Lisbon. Very beautiful area.
Have you been there for a long time? Tell us a little bit about why you are in Portugal right now.
So I've been here for about 7 years. I moved here because there's a spiritual retreat center here where I've been working and helping to volunteer for quite a while. And that's been just very beautiful, very peaceful.
So the music we hear on Free Music Archive, your first songs were uploaded about 2 years ago in 2020. Were those songs created in this place in Portugal?
Yes, all my music has been written and recorded here.
First, let's take a few steps back and tell us a bit more about how you started making music. Why do you make music, and where did you and how did you feel the need to also share that music with other people?
Yeah, I've been making music since I was about 12 or so. I started playing around with this program called Cakewalk. It was back in the day, just doing my little MIDI scores. And at that time I was really into like heavy metal music. So I was trying to figure out how I could make MIDI sound like heavy metal. That was the humble beginnings. And ever since then, I think I've always just had this interest in experimenting and making my own music and just doing a lot of very random things and really just teaching myself by playing around with the different software and recording and all these things. But I think it really just comes from loving music. When I was younger in my teens, I would spend hours just walking around with my headphones on, just going deeper and deeper into these songs and artists that I loved so much. And I think I just have a feeling to share that also with others, to make music that you can kind of just disappear into.
So you started making music when you were pretty young, and then how did you go from that phase, that early phase, to what you're doing now? I don't want to ask you how old you are because that doesn't really matter, but for how long have you been making music then? And do you see like the different phases of your musical journey, and how did that evolution happen?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think I've been making music, I guess, for about 20 years or so. And I'd say maybe the main thing is that my music has gotten more peaceful. When I was younger, I was making very abrasive, kind of noisy music. It's very challenging, not so pleasant for other people to listen to.
It sounds quite different from what you've been making in the last 2 years at least, yeah.
Yeah, something inside definitely mellowed out, and I think that comes through in the music. For me, it kind of feels like I'm always reinventing the music in a way. I never really have a clear intention when I start playing, like, oh, I'm going to make this kind of music or this kind of record. It always feels like I'm just experimenting and just, seeing what happens.
So for you, you see it as a vehicle of expression?
Yeah, for sure. And I think the fact that, people were interested then in like licensing the music or using it for their projects, it was a bit of a happy accident because I never really set out to make music for a specific purpose. I just said I make music that makes me happy. And then if other people like to use it for something, that's just an added bonus,
How did that connection happen, that you felt that other people wanted to use your music for these purposes? Was it through FMA or was it in the earlier phase?
I think it was generally through FMA. When I joined FMA, I didn't really have a clear idea of what I was signing up for. It just seemed like, okay, this could be interesting. Let me put some songs on here. And then being very surprised that all of a sudden there's so many people listening and downloading, And then out of that, then some people started to get in touch and say, oh, I'm working on this short film, or I'm working on this thing, could I use your song? And so it just kind of happened like that. I felt like, wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, for sure.
Yes. If someone would listen to your discography on FMA, the last 2 years, it's quite prolific body of work. Can you tell us, like, did the fact that people wanted music for specific purposes at all influence the way you make music? Or is it the other way around, that you think, okay, if I make my own music as like you said, as a way to express myself and just keep on doing that, then people will actually appreciate the music more? Is there any connection there?
Yeah, I'd say that often if I find myself thinking like, oh, I'm going to try to make something that I think people will like, it really dries up my creativity. I find it doesn't really work for me like that, you know, and so I kind of have to just say, okay, well, this is actually what I'm inspired to make at the moment. And if people are influencing that a bit through, you know, okay, I see, oh, people like this kind of thing, maybe I make more like this. It's like a little bit there, but yeah, generally I find like the inspiration is more spontaneous. It just kind of comes, and then I find something that I like and I keep going with it. And then at the end, it feels like, oh, that's kind of like an album, you know?
And tell us a little bit about your creative process, not like, you know, I sit down and I start making music, but more in general. Do you like collaborating with other musicians? Do you play some instruments over your tracks yourself? Do you usually use, I don't know, plug-in instruments, this kind of stuff? What would you say is your way of making music, your process?
Yeah, so mostly I'm, you know, producing the music in Logic. I'm doing a little bit of like playing the keyboard, a little bit of writing the music out, sometimes recording other instruments. And with most of my music on the FMA, it's just me, you know, just kind of from start to finish. But at the same time, I'm also involved in other projects where I'm maybe singing a bit or playing an instrument. And I love that side of it too, you know, like to be with a band and to bounce ideas back and forth. But I find when I just work by myself, it's much easier to get from, you know, an idea to a finished song very quickly. And since I've been doing it for so long, it's just a very kind of easy, fun way to make music.
We have thousands of people who visit the website every day, so that's quite a nice audience that is exposed to your music and vice versa. How is it in daily life? Do you also share, when you make a song, do you call one of the people who are living in the community there with you and tell them, hey, I made this song, do you want to hear it? Or do you, how is that for you?
For sure, yeah. I mean, I kind of know who my fans are. You know, in the local community, I have a few like friends and things who really love the songs, and I'm always very happy to share with them. And, you know, even at the very early stages. And my wife also is super supportive. You know, she loves listening to my music and drink tea and listen to music. It's, you know, one of our favorite pastimes. So, yeah. And then in the community itself, there's also quite a rich musical thing. You know, there's quite a few musicians around here, and we're also making albums sometimes and playing together. And so, you know, yeah, it's I have a local audience also. That's very nice.
Sounds very nice. That's always nice, especially if you upload a lot to a virtual, online, so you don't have like that physical contact. I guess it's really rewarding to also have that contact with people around you where you live. Tell us a little bit about if you don't mind sharing, like any funny or like weird or really, really nice or surprising case where somebody on FMA was asking you about their music, like a school project or a known brand or something like that. We always find these stories quite interesting because only the artists like yourself are the ones who actually know these stories like in loco.
Yeah, I think one of the more interesting projects was actually a Japanese gin commercial for this, what I think is called Suntory Gin. And they had made this very beautiful commercial, actually, you know, with like this very Zen kind of vibe of like, oh, all the natural ingredients and showing the trees and the flowers and, you know, and then the gin. And I was like, wow, okay, my music really works for this, you know? I never really expected for like an alcohol thing, but I said, oh, this works.
That's that's really interesting. Yes. Okay, what are you up to now? What can we expect from you in the coming months?
Yeah, I'm just putting the finishing touches on a new album EP where I'm kind of going more into piano, ambient, a little bit of lo-fi kind of vibe. I've just really been enjoying very kind of warm, cozy winter vibes. So that's
Yes, experimenting with something new also. Is that like a new area you're trying to get into?
I would say, yeah, like it kind of began with just feeling like, okay, maybe I really focus on the piano to really get back to something very simple, you know? And then from there, it just started kind of building up again. And then, yeah, just playing with some different beats from machine, native instruments and things. And then kind of going between the ambient and the more beat percussion vibe and kind of, yeah, so it's been very, very fun. Yeah.
Sounds interesting. I can hear in one of your last, I think in the first track of your last album, there's like a little trappy kind of beat that goes in, like a lo-fi trap beat, and I was surprised. I really liked that, like this, yeah, new, let's say, new ingredient in your music. So we wish you all the inspiration in the world, and please do share it with us. And thank you so much for your time. And yeah, say hi to everybody in your community from the FMA team.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
There's a special place in heaven for the trump evangelical. So said the holy man on the day the angels fell. It's easy to get in, just sell your soul to him. You can buy it back any time, but you'll never own it again. A special place in heaven next to Judas and Jezebel, far away from Jesus, underneath the Trump Hotel. You can take the stairway or ride the escalator down. Only if you're white or beige, no yellow, black or brown. A place for the pretender, the imposter and the faker, the pious masquerader and blessed wedding baker. Far away from the Muslim, the Jew and unbeliever. Far away from the other, the Buddha and the dreamer. It's the promised place where everyone agrees on the power of one race and one reality. There's a special place in heaven for the Trump evangelical. So said the holy man on the day the angels fell. A special place in heaven for the Trump evangelical. Far away from heaven, underneath the Trump Hotel. It's easy to get in, just sell your soul to him. You can buy it back any time, but you'll never own it again.